All right, too easy. I'm just gonna go right into it then. All right.
Let's
We
freaking go. Let's freaking go.
all right. So first off, we're gonna start off about you telling me who are you and what do you do for the army?
All right. So my name is Charles Miller. I'm a master sergeant in the Army National Guard stationed at the National Guard Bureau. And currently I'm in the Army National Guard Deers Project Office as the NCOIC. And so what that is it's the visionary for making sure that the Guard and all of its equities have the current and correct information on processes, guidance, guidance, playbooks when it comes to anything TRICARE benefits processing related. Okay, and so that stems from your M-Day soldiers, their families, their dependents, all the way to your soldiers on Title 10 or Title 32 orders.
So the main key is just the benefits for National Guard soldiers, right?
Yeah, it's the benefits. It's their medical benefits, because benefits can mean a whole lot of things, right? But for us in TRICARE world, right, that means you're medical, right? Your medical benefits when you're either coming on to active duty, when you're coming off of active duty, on a deployment, on a Title 10 order, Title 32 AGR order, ADOS order, or if it's just you're just an M-Day soldier and you're being a citizen soldier, meaning that you're operating in the community. You have a 9 to 5 that's not active duty, but you still do your 1 week in a month, and your 2 weeks in the summertime. I think that's what it still is, right? And then you just crush it as a traditional guardsman.
Okay, too easy, too easy. Which brings us to the new project you have within this section. Can you tell us about that? What is it called? The Bazaar.
Yeah. All right. So the new focus, right? The new vision. It's called the BESSR. And so what the BESSR stands for is BESSR. It stands for Benefits Eligibility Synchronization for Soldier Records. Now, the initial idea was that, hey, we need a all-encompassing conference, because what we had before was your quarterly training, your quarterly beers training, but that's outdated because it just aligned to, hey, how to push a button on the screen to make sure that this populates. It's way more complex nowadays, right? So we decided, this is back in September 2022, that we need something that's going to grow and evolve with the Army National Guard. And so enter BESSR. And it's just all that. It's the guidance, it's the mitigation strategies, it's the policies, and the only complex component in the Army, which is the Army National Guard. Because the reason why we're so complex is because we have so many different statuses at any given time, and we have 54 different states or territories that have their own set of battle rhythms that we have to mesh and collaborate with. And so we figured that, hey, if we set up a all enduring, all encompassing platform where we can grow together as guardsmen, it's just going to benefit everybody. So,
And so, how does this platform look? Where would this platform be displayed? Like, how would this look moving forward from coming from a just a paper base
right.
to a media base? Like, how does this look moving forward?
It's crazy because the way it is now, the way it's heading, I didn't think it would be this big. And the initial vision is was not your regular Army conference. This wasn't your regular training, your regular briefing, right? Because the goal was to establish a presence as an authority in. Hold on 1 second, because I'm about to knock my son out up here, freaking being a monster or Spider-Man bad guy or something. All right, so the the initial set, what were we talking about for conference, right?
Yeah, the transition, no base of coming from like a paper to a media aspect of.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's interesting because it the pandemic did a number on a lot of different areas, right, for the world. government included, civilian included, right? Businesses, organizations, nonprofit, profit, everything. And one of the lessons learned is that, hey, we can only do so much virtually. We can only do so much on paper, right? There's only so many things that you can do to connect with the individual on with those type of approaches, right? And so when we build an in-person platform where we meet the audience where they are right now, a lot of social media, a lot of digital processes, a lot of digital resources, a lot of digital libraries, we meet the audience where they're at, they'll be more willing to adopt a new perspective, a new idea, and it's a win-win. And so when you do that with a platform like the BESSR and you incorporate social media, you incorporate the challenges, you incorporate leader development outside of just the platform of, hey, we're going to help you focus on those TRICARE benefit aspects of your job as an HR professional, then the sky is just the limit, right? Because now we're not only giving you, hey, here's ABC, here's the FAQs, right? Here's the mitigation strategies when X, Y, and Z happens, right? But we're also giving you the transparency and the vulnerability, like, hey, we don't know all the answers, but we're going to figure this out together. I'm not going to say, but I can send you somewhere else. No, you're going to come here where all the SMEs are going to be at, where we can collaborate, we can talk about these things. It's more of a podcast vibe that is also attached to your guidance, but this is not your regular leadership briefing, right? We're going to focus on mindset, and when we focus on mindset, that means everyone who comes to our conference is a solid SME in their field. We don't want mediocre leaders, because what happens with mediocre leaders, when you send them to places like that, the information doesn't get disseminated. And when the information doesn't get disseminated, those people who are yearning and hungry for that information, they don't get it. And then what happens? You have an emergency, and guess who cares about theirs project office? No one, until it's an emergency. Okay. And there you have it.
So who is the targeted audience? Is it just National Guard, or does it hit all three combos?
Initially, it was crazy. It was just National Guard.
Okay.
But we most recently realized that, hey, our audience stems throughout the whole Army footprint, because you can find a National Guardsman in Compo 1, you can find a National Guardsman in Compo 3 formations. And what happens is, hey, the National Guard, we're already at a disadvantage because some of the information, like I said, is not being disseminated to all of our Guard counterparts. But when you couple that with a guardsman that's in a Compo 1 formation and they don't know about TRICARE benefits processing, then it's a problem. And then when you put that with, hey, this is a mobilization effort, then you really got problems because no one knows what's going on. And so we realized that, especially when you're dealing with force comm initiatives and First Army initiatives, right, and just the training pipeline from MCJAs and JAs, and how that strategic vision has to hit certain points before you get to the end goal, which is coming home from the mission. The information was discombobulated. And so it is 100% going to be a total army effort, and what this BESSR is going to be.
So you're going to bring it from just Compo 3 to all three Compos, using a media platform, transitioning from the old Army to the new Army.
Oh yeah, old Army, new Army. You know what I'm saying? We
Okay.
it has to be that way, because you think about it, the target audience for recruits, new recruits, they're not driving down the street and they so happen to see a billboard saying, hey, be all you can be in the Army. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go freaking sign up. No, that ain't how it works, right? It's like, I've seen something on social media, I've seen some type of benefit, I've seen something
TikTok.
that's deeper than the be all you can be. Like,
Yeah.
hey, well, I can go to school, I can travel here, I can get this type of education, and I can just leverage this information I'm using in the military to start my own company or be an asset to another organization, right? You know, everyone's not going to stay in the Army for a whole career, but how are we meeting those new recruits, and how are we retaining our leaders within the Army who add value to the organization as a whole? You know, how are we doing that? We're not doing that unless it's a combination of old Army and new Army with the new things that are driving the economy, which the Army's so far behind on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Which is why they started transitioning their recruiting videos to focus more on the media, social media aspect, such as like Instagram and TikTok. So you got a new audience. Okay. So what are your foundational pillars for BESSR?
So it's the pillars are, we had to have something, right? Something to keep us nested and grounded with the commander's intent, which the commander's intent is making sure that everyone is eligible for the TRICARE benefits that they're deserving of based on whatever military status that they're in, right? In order to do that, we have to establish training, right? That's number one. There's 5 pillars. Training is the first one. And training, what it does is it arms the 54 states and territories with the knowledge and the expertise that they need to make sure that they educate their soldiers, their formations, and their families on the benefits that they're eligible for, right? That's number one, is training, right? And the second thing is communication. That's the second pillar. And that is, you're ensuring that we keep we maintain clarity in how we communicate, meaning that we're adding value to our customer, which is everyone, right? Our customer is everyone. We don't want them to have to search for the information. We want it to be readily available for them. And that means that we're giving you the latest and greatest, up to date. We're being vulnerable. We're being transparent in these things. And we're not selling people on a dream that ain't even there, right? And the third thing is collaboration. We must collaborate with everyone. And this was initially the whole 54 states and territories, including the District of Columbia, right? But now we realize that, hey, we have to be in sync and nested with all these other agencies, which is Defense Manpower Data Center, right? Which is Defense Health Agency. So your DHA, your DMDC, all your TRICARE departments, right? All those areas who have stake in the Department of Defense to make sure that TRICARE benefits are processed, right? And so that way we accurately define, measure, analyze, and improve, and we control that narrative. You know what I'm saying? With collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth one is flexibility, and it's pretty much what the GUARD stands for, right? Always ready, always there. You know what I'm saying? And so we're being flexible with everything, and we're ready really to adapt to the changes, because which means we have to adopt a proactive approach to the ever-changing circumstances of the Army National Guard footprint, right? Because it changes constantly, right? And then that changes also when you have Compo 3 assets involved with it. You have Compo 1 leadership, right? It's just crazy. So you have to maintain flexibility. And the fifth one is execution, okay? Right? 100% you have to execute, because if you identify those parameters that benefit everyone, why are we holding on to that information? And why are we not making sure that everyone has the tools they need to be armed to make sure that, hey, if we can take a stress off of someone, let's do that, okay? Because there's 2 incentives that motivate soldiers. That's pay and that's benefits. They will freak out if they don't have one of those things, right? And you would too, right? And so, I mean, those are the pillars, and we're going to stand firm in that. The only difference is that now, moving forward, this is a conversation that is going to be escalated to the Compo 1 and Compo 3 leadership, and it's just going to be that number 3 pillar, collaboration.
So what can we expect next for BESSR? Like, what's the next upcoming event for BESSR?
So we have our initial conference, which is going to be November of this year, and we will highlight the whole process at the conference. And I promise you that once this hits leadership's inboxes and it hits social media and it gains the notoriety and the support that it deserves, it's going to extend to your MCJAs. It's going to extend to your JAs. It's going to extend to HQDA, where these senior leaders now have to pay attention to what their soldiers need, not necessarily what they think, because not only are we providing value in what's the latest and greatest as far as education, process improvement, but we're also doing data collection points where the numbers don't lie. Okay, we're showing you the process, the bottlenecks of things, and so we're not asking for permission. Okay, we'll ask for forgiveness by exposing this monster of what it is, and that's just the bottom line to it, right? It's you'll see this be a not only a National Guard platform, but it's going to be a total Army platform, and this is going to be a humongous initiative, an enduring initiative moving forward.
Oh, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right. So thank you for your time. So where can we go to find out more information about BESSR? For people to tap in to follow the process. Where is this being streamlined?
So on all of our social media, it's ARNG BESSR, ARNG BESSR. So that's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, and it's on LinkedIn, because we have to establish a presence on multiple social media platforms because there's different audiences on those platforms, right? And so, and what we also did is we incorporated some automation. So, because we know soldiers don't like to be, they don't want to wait for information. They want to know right now, how do I take care of my family and myself, right? Hey, all you got to do is DM us the word care or comment the word care on any of our Facebook posts, and you will be immediately directed to our National Guard.mil public website, and we'll give you the soldier journey, where it's an updated document of all of our frequently asked questions and hacks and tips on making sure that you get the benefits that you deserve. So that's it.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Charles Miller, founder of the BESSR. We appreciate your time and your energy.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Any final words? Anything to leave them with?
100%. Hashtag we level up together. That's it.
Ah.
Ah.
Too
Damn.
easy.